Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here, and this is the iPhone 15 Plus 24 hours later as a user. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk about and a couple of things that really shocked me about this phone. So you know how the lady during the keynote conference came out on stage and said that this is a brand new phone, and a lot of us really laughed at that statement because it didn't really look like a brand new phone, it just looked like the same as the 14 Plus. As a matter of fact, it is kind of a new phone. I'll explain that to the best of my ability, so let's go ahead and get started. So one of the main things that Apple changed about the design this year is the kind of new infused glass material that combines both the color and the glass together. Basically, that's nonsense to me. All I really care about is how it feels. And yeah, so the back is no longer this glossy material from last year's generation. It now uses the same, kind of almost the same material as the Pro models from previous models. So a matte finish to it, really nice, and it also provides a better grip. Now one of the big also changes that happen that may not seem noticeable at first, but the curvature on the sides of the phone are actually much improved. So what that means essentially is that you will have a much better grip with the phone, and like I said, 24 hours later as a user, it made a difference. So yeah, this phone feels really good in the hand as far as the grip, as far as everything else. And we cannot also skip the fact that the bottom no longer uses a lightning connector. We are now in the USB-C era of iPhones. I don't know how long it will last, but it's here for now, so enjoy it while it lasts. So for better or for worse, you do get USB-C as a standard port. Now it doesn't support any extra fast charging, it's the same charging speed from previous generation. And if we look at the front, this is now a much improved display from last year's generation, mainly in the brightness aspect and the fact that the bezels are slightly smaller thanks to that dynamic island, which we will discuss in a little bit. And also I do have to say that honestly, this is an insanely bright screen. So even at direct sunlight, as you guys can see, this phone handles it no problem. It can push up to 2000 nits. Now, one of the disappointing things about the display is that for whatever reason, and I still don't get it, Apple's really stuck to 60 hertz refresh rate, where we all know that they could have included 90 or even 120. They could have included 90 just so they can say that they upgraded the display even more. I don't know why they stuck with 60 hertz to keep costs down. I mean, this is already a $929 phone if you want it unlocked. So I don't know, I don't understand it. But yeah, so you do get the dynamic island embedded within the front of the display. So as you can see, the front-facing camera and the sensors, like the proximity and the Face ID sensors, are kind of separate in a way. But yeah, this is also a standard on all iPhones now. And if we look back at the camera, you do get brand new sensors. So you get a dual camera setup, a wide angle and a main camera, but the main camera now shoots a 48 megapixel pictures, which is a much improved quality and sensor from last year's 12 megapixel sensor that they had. So definitely now matches to the competition as far as resolution goes. And one of the cool things that I've noticed about the camera is that if you open the camera app, first of all, we all know how good the camera app is on the iPhones. It may not have as much customizability as Android camera apps, but for the most part, it does what it does really well. Fast at taking pictures. But you do also get now a kind of 2x zoom. So it uses the 48 megapixel camera for that, so it's not really an actual telephoto lens, but it uses it and it uses it very well. So because it's a 48 megapixel sensor, it gives you a more it gives you a real resolution, like almost, it's not just like a digital crop, but it also uses like the sensor itself to give you a higher quality image, giving you the sense of a telephoto lens without giving you an actual telephoto lens. All right. So next in the conversation is going to be the performance and the battery life, and I can safely say that the battery life on this phone is nothing short of excellent. Now again, it doesn't really support fast charging, at least not as fast as like 30, 40, 50 or crazy 60 watts that we see in Android phones, but it still supports like a 18 watt charging speeds, which it's whatever, to be honest with you. I mean, if the battery life is really good, then I don't really have a problem with how fast or how slow the phone charges, in my opinion. And you also get the upgraded chips from the 14 Plus or the 14. So you do get the A16 chip, which is the same chipset that they had in their Pro Max, in the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max from last year's generation. So I've only had this phone for 24 hours, and so far I feel like the changes are really bigger than you think, but does it justify you upgrading? That comes down to you. And I'm currently working on comparing the 15 Plus to the iPhone 14 Plus. I think this would be a worthwhile comparison, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.